Hi again. Do you ever find in life that you keep on coming back to the same places? We go through these endless cycles only to come back to the same place. Now, with clients that come to me, they present issues around limitations of money. It may be that your finances are limited and you keep on finding that throughout your life. It may be that you feel unworthy of the true abundance you deserve. Others present issues around their personal relationships. Now, for one aspect of that, sometimes people are looking for true happiness and love in another to fulfill and make them happy. The true happiness actually comes within us. It may be due to that you keep on attracting the same toxic relationships. Maybe they're abusive relationships, or you just attract those people that really drain your energy and you don't feel good around. It may be that maybe there's imbalances in the body and maybe you're going through a repetition of diets only to come back to the same place and then just try the next one. Or it may be maybe with other things that you keep on just finding yourself purely in the same place. Now, if I was to ask you, if you actually ran up against a wall and banged your head against it, would you keep doing it? Probably not. Because it would hurt and you'd know, well, actually, I made that mistake, I'm not going to do it again. But how many of us keep on running up to that same wall and banging our heads? As until we actually think, no, stop, I'm not doing this anymore, we actually then start to look at these in a more rational way to see how we can get above and beyond it. Now, I'm going to go to the more spiritual side of things now, and as we come into the world, we come in as pure beings of light. We have no idea of who we are, why we're here, or anything else for that matter, until somebody says, your name is Alexandra. You're good at this. No, you're not very good at that. And then all of a sudden, we get these external, perhaps suggestions or words that come to us that then start to form our thoughts. Over an amount of time, if someone keeps on saying the same old thing to you, it then becomes a belief about ourselves. Now, the neurotransmitters within the brain start to form patterns and habits of being which actually honour those beliefs. Maybe it's an avoidance technique. If you don't feel good enough, you won't go there and you won't experience it. You'll stay away. That's one way that we actually do this. And what actually happens is that these habits and patterns are something called peptides within the mind that we unconsciously do, but we actually get there and think, well, why do I keep coming back to the same place? Within my work as an integrative counsellor, one of my great passions is metaphysics and the law of attraction. And by looking at the Western side and the way that of human behaviour and how our thought processes and how the brain works, is really fascinating. But then you blend it with the Eastern traditions and you look at human suffering in a more holistic way, combining that with the universal energies, and just really combining the lot works so well with so many clients. Because in reality, that there is a whole universe out there. There is unlimited money, there is unlimited love, etc. But in Western culture today, we are always led to believe that we should be looking a certain way. We perhaps should be married, we should be this, we should be that, we should have lots of money or a new car. Because purely, these things form an identity or a belief about ourselves. But we're not our career. We are not our car. We are not the next thing that we need to get to make us feel better. There is a beautiful saying in the world of spirit, as within, so without. As above, so below. We emanate out a frequency. When we come back to our authenticity, that being of light that once came into the world as pure spirit, we start to vibrate at a much higher level. And then we start to attract in different things into our lifestyle. Our natural state of being is joy, peace, and unconditional love. But what in fact happened is that maybe all this rubbish, if you like, of that we're not good enough or this, that and the other. What's happened is that these are formed blockages of our natural state of being. Now, some people find it really hard. I can't do that. It's not a case that we have to raise up to some great level to achieve this. We just naturally have to identify our blocks and barriers that are stopping us from coming back to our natural state. And by identifying that, we can start then to build in strategies and find ways and new habits. Did you know that the brain takes 28 days to reprogram? So suddenly by starting in to bring new strategies, new ways of behaving, new ways of being, and really visualizing and focusing on what we want to create within our future, we can aspire to be the best version of ourselves and achieve all the goals and things within our life that we want to get. I myself, as a single mother, came to that place probably about 7 years ago, I should think now, where I was going through the same cycles. I never had enough money. I kept on attracting the most abusive relationships, going from bad to worse. And all of a sudden, it took a very big learning curve for me. And something inside of me suddenly woke up one morning and thought, what on earth am I doing? Why am I accepting this? Well, maybe I wasn't the abuser, and they obviously had their own experience of why they were doing that. I was actually the one that was accepting it, and it was because of my low self-esteem. So I started to look at that. I started to change the way I thought about things. And as my guide says, stop looking outside of yourself and start listening within. And since then, I'm very happy to say that my whole life has transformed. And I bring this and my experience within my work. And I'm so passionate about what I do. I absolutely love what I do, but I can see why everything has happened the way it is, because I come from a place of personal experience, but I bring my wisdom and knowledge both on a spiritual side and also as well from an academic side, from what I've learned within my counselling career. So if you're feeling stuck in some way or form and you'd like to reach out and have a little bit of help, even if you just want to discuss it with me at this moment in time, then please feel free to contact me.